Shehzad Poonawalla, you're slyly smiling away in the studio. It could be a storm in a teacup or just a optics hiccup. Mamata Banerjee, as per our sources, still with the alliance. Par for the course, it's going to happen. You have, it's a multi-starrer against your superstar.
First of all, my smile is entirely attributed to my dear friend Rajdeep, whom I see as a reporter, not as an anchor. So it's entirely attributed to him. But look, what is the flavor of this meeting? It's all about eating, meeting, greeting and going. What has happened? And I am more focused on G20, not on what is happening Janta ke saath 420. I am more focused on mission and vision, which is taking country to 7.8% GDP growth. But there you have ambition and contradiction coming out. And look at the contradiction. Today, left is being given an ultimatum by TMC that you either leave this alliance or else we walk out. You have Aam Aadmi Party giving Congress ultimatums, Congress giving Aam Aadmi Party ultimatums. You have had the Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan say that Congress is no longer secular, its secular credentials have been exposed. This they've said yesterday. So there is a handle on X, Preeti, since you're on X and you're actively tweeting all the time. There is a handle called Ghar Ke Kalesh. I think it should be renamed as Gadbandhan Ke Kalesh. On the one hand, you have a clear leader, a clear agenda. We want one nation, one election. They can't even have one Gadbandhan, one logo. Today, by the way, the logo was going to come out. ना लोगो है ना लोगों के लिए नीति है झंडा है एजेंडा नहीं है What is their agenda on 370? I can see Brajesh Bhai, who was with Congress first. Aam Aadmi Party supports the abrogation of 370. What does the Congress do? Congress wants to reimpose it. Chale, chhod dijiye. What is the position on one nation, one election? Samajwadi Party has supported it in 2019. You have had JDU supported in 2018. You have had Congress Party's Nachiappan ji give a report in 2015 supporting one nation, one election. You've had the Law Commission report. Now, is the Congress Party going to take a position on this or not going to take a position on this? What is the position of their UPA alliance on this? So this kind of contradiction and ambition is far more important than mission and vision for the country. We are working with mission and vision, and I'm only waiting for what will be the flavor that comes out from Rajdeep's show. If he tells me in the food delicacy will be that kuch zyada mirchi lagi hui hai sabhi logon ko khane mein.
All right, we're going to go across to our other panelists, but Rajdeep, that was pointed at you. Shehzad smiling away. What's so wrong in being a reporter and not an anchor?
No.
I think that's where you on your spurs.
No, 1 second. I have grown up watching Rajdeep Sardesai anchor and report, and I'm always nostalgic when he goes to Mumbai because Maharashtra is where he comes from. So I love Rajdeep in Mumbai. He can report even better.
Rajdeep, that was...
Tell my friend Shehzad.
Right.
That some of us have remained reporters with our feet on the ground. Some of us have remained reporters.
Rajdeep, you need to put up your mic. We can barely hear you.
Comforts of being a party spokesperson in TV studios. Sorry, the limited point I wanted to make to my friend Mr. Poonawalla is that some of us have been reporters for much of our lives with our feet on the ground. We do not have the rarefied comforts of a TV studio as a BJP party spokesperson and the privileges that come with that. No problem. You're welcome to see me as a reporter. I will say one thing to Mr. Poonawalla. I am a reporter whose spine is intact, and more importantly, my integrity is intact.
Rajdeep,
I will not take character certificates from any of you.
No, Rajdeep, he didn't mean it that way. He meant it in a good way is what he's saying, and it wasn't meant as a jibe. That's what I think Shehzad would want to point out.
I meant it as a compliment.
He meant it as a compliment, not as a jibe. But
Rajdeep, no problem. Madam, I have no problem. Nishkama karma. I am not a yogi. I am a Nishkama karma man.
Right, sir. But Rajdeep, before you, I want to bring you back into the conversation. We'll go to our other panelists as well. Would you think this kind of, optics, especially at the back of a constructive meet, is something that the India Alliance can afford, and where you're so close to elections now?
Look, the fact is India Alliance has to realize who they are up against. Narendra Modi and Amit Shah lead the most formidable election machine in the history of post-independent India. They are masters of all that it requires to win an election. Now, you could argue that as Sam Dam Danda Bhed, but it's also strategy, it's also a lot of hard work, it's a lot of last mile connectivity. Let's give them their due. Therefore, this alliance has to realize it's not business as usual. You cannot throw tantrums, you cannot have your personal animosity scars playing out because that will be used by the likes of Shehzad Poonawalla to suggest that this alliance will simply not work. You are going to have to provide a viable, cohesive alternative with a clear message. I think the big takeaway, as I said earlier, Preeti, is that opposition zinda hai. It's alive, but it's not kicking. It will kick when you have a strategy in place, when you have a message in place, and when you have a clear roadmap in place. Until you have that, you're being messy and chaotic. And a messy and chaotic opposition, I think, cannot compete with a nimble and resourceful BJP machine. So I think it's for the opposition to realize that every time they do something like this, it will be interpreted as yet another self-goal.
All right, Rajdeep, we're going to get you back into the debate at about 7:20. You're going to have 10 minutes break, Rajdeep. You're going to come right back. But I want to take the conversation right now to Sanjay Jha and Brijesh Karappa. Sahil Joshi also joining us. Sanjay Jha, with what Rajdeep was saying as well, you're practically 2 months away from state elections, 8 months away from general elections. On a day where one would have thought this was a constructive meeting, what came out was tangible, stuff. You had a committee which was formed, multiple committees at that. You had a timeline to your your seat sharing arrangement. Yet now the spotlight is a Mamata Banerjee upset.
Preeti, I'm not going to waste my time on discussing what appears to be a media story. Fair enough. But I think the larger issues need to be put on the table. It has been a highly successful Mumbai summit. Let me tell you that. I have a lot of friends in the India Alliance. It has been an extraordinary success. You'll hear more about it in the days ahead. There are 2 points I wish to make. Number one, over the last 10 years, it has been the dark and what I call as the lost decade of India. I think under Modi, we have seen India actually become the most corrupt, communal and criminal party in this country. And there are several instances of that. I do believe that today the India Alliance's whole theme, Jurega India, which is about bringing the people of this country together. Number 2, Jeetega India, which is a call for change, a call not just for victory. It's a call for fighting for each and every citizen of this country, is already resonating. I can sense it in more ways than one. I want to give you, Preeti, a couple of examples of why I think India Alliance is not just going to sweep, and I think it's a Congress as part of the alliance will sweep the winter elections in December. I'm predicting on your show it will be a 0 for the BJP. And the momentum for the 2024 elections, let's discuss it after the December elections. A few examples, Preeti, before the others come in. The Manipur silence of the Prime Minister, I think the country has seen it. 78 days, the Prime Minister goes into radio silence. I think you need a Prime Minister with courage. You need a Prime Minister with some conviction. You can't have such a weak Prime Minister. Number 2, women wrestlers today are going to fight in international competitions without the national anthem and the flag because the BJP wanted to protect a sexual predator. I mean, can there be a bigger shame for this country? You have a railway protection officer who hunts down Muslims and kills them. Do we need to tell you what he said after the bloodthirsty murders? What names did he announce that inspired him? That is the state of the country under the BJP today. Number 4, the courts have to say ethnic cleansing. Is that what's happening in Haryana? This is the legacy of Narendra Modi over the last 9 years. I think it is a shame for this country. Last but not the least, the Muzaffarnagar incident where a young boy gets slapped repeatedly with a teacher egging the others on tells you how hate has permeated down to the villages of this country. I think the India Alliance is the future. And the people of the country will vote Narendra Modi and the BJP out. All right, okay. Shehzad wants to respond and we'll go across to Sahil after that. Shehzad, go ahead.
Yeah, who's lecturing us about hate is those people who have Sanjay Raut in their midst, and the Sanjay Raut and India Today report has said Muslims' voting rights should be revoked. The biggest riots that have targeted Muslims, including the Mumbai riots, the Congress party used to blame Balasaheb Thackeray. In fact, they put him in jail and they said he's the most communal person. This is the Congress party which gave us the Delhi Narsanghar and genocide, which Manishankar Iyer has also admitted, where the Prime Minister said, Bada ped girta hai to dharti hilti hai. And it has in its midst IUML, which Rahul Gandhi says is secular, which chanted genocidal slogans against Hindus. And you have the Samajwadi party, which has recently said Hindu dharma is a dhoka. So I don't think I need lectures on Nafrat ki Rajniti from Sanjay Jha, who is still suspended. The least they could have done in this meeting is to revoke the suspension of Sanjay Jha. But having said that, Preeti, if they are so united on these causes, one second. Forget all of this. Let's not get personal. So I'm just coming to, yesterday Pinarayi Vijayan said on record that the Congress has no secular credentials to speak of. Forget what BJP thinks. Are Pinarayi Vijayan, this dosti in Bengal, masti in Mumbai, kushti in some other place, this model doesn't work, Sanjay Jha. People look through it. You are friends with Uddhav Sena, whom you accused of riots. You are friends with the left, whom you accuse of stifling democracy in Kerala. You are friends with Trinamool Congress, whom Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary says kill democracy in the panchayati elections. And you are saving democracy in Mumbai. You only have to be lost in a South Mumbai tennis court to actually think that people believe this stuff.
You will not even get a job of a chaprasi in my
Okay, let's not
I'm
get
sure.
either of you.
I don't need one.
Let's not get personal.
I'm
Either of
sure,
you, Sanjay Jha
I'm
and
sure
Shahid.
even if I did, it's fine. Chaprasi is not a bad job. It is a great job. Chaiwala and chaprasis are not
Okay,
people
may I?
to be not
Jayanto wants to come in, but Sahil hasn't had a word.
Sentence here.
Okay, sir, one sentence. Let me go to Sahil Joshi. He's been very
Just one
patient.
sentence, Priti. One sentence.
Yes, sir.
Literally one sentence.
Go ahead, sir.
Literally one sentence I want to say. Today, Muhammad Salim, State Secretary member and the Central Committee member, he has attacked Mamata Banerjee and Abhishek Banerjee on corruption and said why government of India is not arresting these two people immediately when Sitaram Yechuri was addressing at the Bombay summit that we are closing together as much as we can, as early as possible, the seat adjustment will take place. So I mean, what dialectical materialism it is.